Om Akratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Sri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Bande Guru Paramparam. Asmadgurubhyo Namaha. Shrutismrutipurananam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashyakritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishwaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shri Medha Dakshinamurti Swamine Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamrita Varshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvam Anusandhadami Bhagavat Gite Bhavadveshinim Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutah Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sankapadakramopanisadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavastita Dadgatena Manasam Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantanna Vidhusura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Namaste once again, everyone.
Namaste, Guruji. Pranam.
Tat vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadharshinaha. I think the last class we just recited this sloka. We have to see the Anvaya and the word meanings, and also, of course, the explanation. The Anvaya is Vidhi Tat Pranipatena Sevaya Pariprashnena Jnaninaha Tattvadarsinaha Upadekshanti Jnanam Te Vidhi Tat. May you know, may you gain that knowledge. Pranipatena, by prostration, by doing namaskara. Sevaya, by service. Pariprashnena, and by proper inquiry. Jnaninaha, the wise. Tattvadarsinaha, those who have realized the truth, the sages. Upadekshanti, will impart, will teach. Jnanam, that knowledge, te, to you. So the simple meaning of this sloka is that may you gain that knowledge by prostration, by service, and by proper inquiry. The wise sages will impart that knowledge to you. So Bhagavan Krishna talked about the glory of knowledge up to verse number 33, beginning from 25th verse to 33rd verse. Now in this verse, in the 34th verse, Krishna wants to complete this topic by giving the means of acquiring the knowledge. How can one acquire self-knowledge? And as I said before, the self is not available for any regular instruments of knowledge like our Pancha Jnanendriyas. Because all these 5 instruments are turned outwards. They are extrovert in nature. And therefore, they can only reveal the objective world. Just like, we cannot use any instrument to see our own eyes, however powerful the instrument may be. Those instruments can help us see objects outside, even, light years away, like, strong telescopes and things like that and all. But there is no instrument with which we can see our own eyes. Therefore, if you have to see your own eyes, there is only one method, and that is we have to use a mirror, which is capable of reflecting the eye. In the same way, if the Atma has to be recognized, we require a special mirror. And which mirror is capable of revealing the Atma? If we use the local mirror, which we buy in the shops and all that, which we have at home, it can only reflect our stula shariram, our gross body. The local mirror cannot even reflect our mind, what to talk of Atma. And therefore, we require a special mirror, which is Shastra Darpana. The words of the Shastra, the words of the scriptures, which are capable of revealing our nature to ourselves. And another important aspect is that it is not enough that we have a mirror. We should also know how to use the mirror properly, isn't it? Because if the mirror is improperly used, I'm talking about the mirror in our house. If we do not use it properly, it will not reflect your face. And not only the mirror should be properly used, it should not have any dust covering and all the surface of the mirror. If there is any dust, then also the reflection will not be bright. Or sometimes you won't see the reflection at all if it is covered with so much of dust. When if there is a reflection, it will be very dull and a vague reflection. And therefore, we require the assistance, some assistance to help us to use the mirror properly. And that is that assistant. That assistant alone we call Guru. Guru knows how to hold the mirror properly. He presents the scriptural teaching in such a way that you are able to understand yourselves properly and in the right way. And even while using that, if there are any doubts, like, the dust in the mirror, the dust could be in the form of wrong understanding of the scriptures, incomplete understanding of the scriptures. They are all like dust-like obstacles. And therefore, a guru is required to wipe the mirror clean and also present the mirror properly so that one can gain self-knowledge. One can see the real nature of self clearly in that mirror of Shastra. And therefore, Krishna emphatically tells here in this sloka that one requires a guru. One cannot understand, one cannot gain this knowledge by one's own self-study. And if at all there are people who have attained the knowledge without a guru, because somebody may quote, oh, so and so I know, Ramana Maharshi I know, he did not have a guru. We don't know who was his guru. Of course, this question was asked to Ramana Maharshi himself, as I said earlier. And he said, what do you know about my past life? It's not necessary that one should have a guru only in this life. Because you must take life as such. A jiva's existence is continuous. It's a continuity. Maybe this is the last life of the jiva. In this life, he will get moksha and be completely resolved. The jivatvam will be resolved. But even if we have a certain people whom we know, certain people who have gained self-knowledge without a guru, we should take them only as an exception. We should never use the exception as a general rule. Why? Because exception is an exception. There will always be exceptions. Therefore, never apply the exception as a general rule, and therefore Guru is required. Because some children, they have got all this fascination for all these celebrities like, what's the Bill Gates and so many people. They are all school dropouts, college dropouts and things like that and all. And these people argue. This young, why should I study? Why should I go to the university? See Bill Gates, such a big man, so much money, so much position in the society. He was a school dropout. Like that, I mean, I don't know whether Bill Gates himself was a school dropout, but there are many people who are school, college dropout, but who have made it big in their life. They are all exceptions. They cannot form the general rule that for that matter, all children cannot leave college and become Bill Gates. So therefore, we should treat an exception as an exception. And as long as we are not one of those exceptions, we should follow the general rule. Now, when we use the word guru, even that word has got different concepts, different meanings. The worst one is in Chennai, I have seen auto rickshaw drivers call each other guru. But of course, I am not referring to that from a sastric angle, from a religious angle. We can talk about three types of gurus. One is an initiating guru. The guru who gives you a mantra upadesha. You do a pada puja. Thereafter, the guru will give you a mantra upadesha. It could be any panchakshari mantra, shatakshari, ashtakshari. So many, mantras are there, or just om. So many mantras are there. So guru, depending upon how he perceives you, he will give you a mantra upadesha and tell you, repeat this mantra continuously, use this mantra for your meditation, etc. That is an initiating guru. He will initiate into a process of spiritual growth. So that guru will be useful in giving the mantra. And that mantra, constant repetition of that mantra will lead to what? Chitta Shuddhi. But that mantra repetition is not going to remove my ignorance. I'm not going to gain any knowledge by the mantra repetition. So it is wonderful to chant a particular mantra 108 times, 1008 times, Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Narayana, like that. So many mantras are there. It's all very nice. They help in purifying the mind, in developing concentration. But it is never going to give you the knowledge of Aham Brahmasmi. Therefore, initiating gurus are useful for purification. Then there is second type of gurus, they won't give you mantra upadesham. They won't give you any teaching, but they are very inspiring gurus. You just spend some time with them, see their activities, see their overall behavior, see their approach to other human beings, see their approach to animals, to all the flora and fauna. They inspire you. They are gurus at a higher level and they have reached a higher plane of spirituality. Such gurus are also there. They are also required for inspiring us. So whether it is initiating guru or inspiring guru, all gurus are useful. All gurus are required also. But the guru that Krishna is talking about is the teaching guru. The one who wants to communicate knowledge to the disciple. And that is why when Arjuna wanted knowledge, Krishna did not function as an inspiring guru. Or for that matter, he did not function even as an initiating guru. If Krishna had to initiate Krishna, all that was required was only 2 minutes. He will say, okay, Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha, or some mantra he would have given to Arjuna, go on repeating it as even you fight. And as an inspiration guru also, we saw in the second chapter, isn't it? He tried to inspire Krishna by taunting him. That's what many times we do at our house also, isn't it? With our children. We taunt them. It is not criticizing, it is not to discourage them, but to inspire them to do better. Krishna said to Arjuna, Klaibhyam asmagam partha nai tatvayupapadhyate shudram hridaya daurbalyam tyaktvottishta parantapa. It was an inspiration Krishna gave. With a view to inspire Arjuna to get up and fight, Krishna taunts him by saying, hey Arjuna, what is this you are doing? Throwing your bow and arrow and sitting down on the floor of the chariot. Why are you acting like a person who is neither male or a female? That's not good for you. This behavior does not behove you. You are such a great person. From where has this faintness of heart come? Hridaya dhaurbalyam. From where has it come? So get up, Arjuna, and fight. So Krishna did act as an inspiring guru also, but that did not help. Krishna also did not give mantropadesha. Krishna did not say, Arjuna, you chant this mantra regularly, your self-ignorance will go. Therefore, Krishna did not serve as a initiating guru also, because such roles can only prepare the mind. They cannot remove the ignorance. What Krishna wanted, he wanted to remove Arjuna's ignorance. So in Bhagavad Gita, from the 11th sloka of the second chapter, Krishna is functioning as a teaching guru. Ashocya nanmashochastvam. Starting from that, he is teaching Arjuna what is self-knowledge is all about. And for us, it is very important to know the difference between these three different types of gurus. Because from an initiating guru, we should not expect any teaching. Similarly, from an inspiring guru also, we cannot expect any teaching. Only from a teaching guru, we can expect teaching. Who will teach us what? He will not teach anything. He will only show us the mirror of the Shastra. That is the only purpose of the Guru. He is not going to give you any great advice on his own. He is going to only communicate what is already told in the Shastra. That's all. So Krishna served Arjuna as a teaching Guru who taught Vedanta systematically like any other science. Because any knowledge that we have to gain, that has to be gained systematically in a proper manner. Be it physics, chemistry, mathematics, economics, any subject you take. It's a systematic teaching and development, chapter after chapter, year after year. That is why even though we may study physics in our high school level, when we go to the undergraduate level, the same physics, but it changes its what that called degree of difficulty is increased in understanding. So the systematic teaching also involves a lot of such processes. Therefore, Krishna takes Arjuna through 18 chapters, and all these 18 chapters represent systematic teaching. And also, one more important thing, Krishna did not say to Arjuna, hey Arjuna, listen, you know that I am God. Therefore, whatever I say, you just accept it. You have no right to question, or you have to just believe me. You have to have faith, etc. He could have told that, he didn't do that. Because that is not our parampara. Where teaching is involved, faith or mere blind acceptance will not work. That is why it is only in our religion, our philosophy, teaching is involved. All other matams, all other religions, no teaching. Just the teacher, what they call a guru, whatever may be the nomenclature they use. They will tell, this is what is there in the scriptures, accept it, follow it, period. You can't raise any question. But in our parampara, the student must be allowed to ask question. When teaching is involved, question should be allowed. In inspiration or initiation, there is no logical analysis involved. So that is okay. Guru gives a mantra upadesha, you take it and then chant it. That's it. But teaching must appeal to the intellect and also be acceptable to the intellect because knowledge is involved. Once knowledge has to be imparted like any other subject matter, systematic teaching has to be done. And therefore only Krishna now and then implores Arjuna and says repeatedly, Shrunu, 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 Shrunu. Arjuna, listen carefully, listen actively. Do not listen like you are listening to a katha or some story. Because when we are listening to a story, very little, if at all, thinking is involved. Maybe little bit, sometimes we may think. When we especially come across some unbelievable, anecdote or something. Otherwise, katha listening is a passive listening. That's what most people, Bhagavad Purana and all that, Saptam and all, they go to listen to katha, passively listen. Some bhakti is involved, emotion is involved. Even if you miss some of the lectures, no harm. Because the build-up is not tight. Most often than not, the Upanyasaka, he will give a lot of jokes and things like that and all in between the story. So all that you may miss, maximum is those jokes. Whereas learning involves understanding, involves active listening. And also, one has to be very alert while learning to reconcile the statements of the teacher. A teacher may make one statement in one context. After a few classes, he may make another statement which may appear very contradictory to what he has stated earlier. So a teacher has also got to be very, very careful, very alert, that he should be teaching only the right thing so that he doesn't contradict himself. When it comes to teaching, there is a very large amount of activity involved both on the part of the teacher and the student. And when all these are involved, it is called samanvaya. For example, I cannot say at one stage that knowledge alone is the means of liberation. And another day I say there are 4 means of liberation. If I do that, then I am not only not a proper teacher, I am a confused teacher. So if I say knowledge is the only means of liberation, I should be able to, first of all, consistently hold on to that. And secondly, I should be able to provide evidence to the student in the form of scriptural evidence or Shastra Pramanam that this is the only means of liberation. Knowledge is the only means of liberation. Right from the first class up to the last class, the teacher should be able to hold on to that. Even if the student has forgotten what the teacher has said in the first class, if he is a proper teacher, he cannot forget what he has taught. He has to reconcile every statement that he makes. When we talk about teaching, all these are involved. And that is why Krishna allows Arjuna to ask questions. As we saw, 3rd chapter begins with questions. 4th chapter also, Arjuna asks, how come you are contradicting yourself, Krishna? On the one hand, you are saying that you have taught Surya Bhagavan, and now you are teaching me. Surya Bhagavan was born eons ago. I mean, we don't even know when Surya Bhagavan was born. I am born now. How can you be the teacher for both of us? I cannot make any sense of what you are stating. All this sounds illogical. And therefore, please explain yourself. Arjuna is bold enough to ask the teacher. Similarly, the students who are Vedantic students should be bold enough to ask the teacher all such questions. One must not think, oh, the teacher will feel very awkward if I point out some mistake. Because teachers also are human beings at the end of the day. They may also make some mistakes here and there. And if the student goes away confused, purpose of teaching, purpose of learning is not served. Any knowledge that is acquired should be doubt-free knowledge. And that's why Krishna had to answer Arjuna chapter after chapter. Arjuna asked questions. Even in the 18th chapter also Arjuna asks questions. That means what? Krishna's teaching has been systematic, out of which questions came, which Arjuna required clarification. Therefore, the systematic teaching requires thinking, understanding, assimilating, questioning, etc. And therefore, teaching involves a lot of time. It's not just you listen to 1 or 2 talks and then you say, oh, I've got it. Many students, it's a very common feature. Sitting in the class, they will think they have understood everything. Next day, they just think about what was taught yesterday, they will find they have not understood anything. Because this is, science is that. For example, you all know what effort and time is required to understand the equation E is equal to mc square, which was given by Einstein, theory of relativity. It is supposed to be a very important equation in science. It's also called matter-energy equation. But to understand what is E in the equation, you require 20 years of college study, I mean, high school, then go to college and all physics you have to study. Still people will say, I don't understand what is this E is equal to. M and C will require a lot more time. And still, perhaps, what is meant by the square will remain to be understood. So every word in the equation, I should understand clearly. Similarly, Vedanta is also a very, very significant equation. which says you, the Jiva, are the ultimate reality, the Paramatma. And this equation cannot be solved by japa or meditation, puja, etc. The equation is called Soham. Saha is equal to Aham. I am that Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. Saha means the content of the macrocosm. Aham means the content of the microcosm. So, when we say Soham, we are talking about the identity of the contents of the macro and micro. This is not meant for believing or repeating Soham, Soham, Soham. In fact, Swami Paramahansa, humorously says, because in Tamil, many people the sound ha is not there. Yeah, the sound ha is replaced by ka, the sound ka. So soham becomes shokam. Shokam. So he says, if you go on saying soham, soham, and if you are a Tamilian, you will start saying shokam, 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 shokam. Shokam means what? Grief, sorrow. So therefore, this soham is to be understood. What is the meaning? It is meant for knowing. Until you know, you have to keep on hearing soham. And you have a right to challenge this equation and ask questions. And therefore, until you are convinced, the teaching is incomplete. The Guru's conviction, my conviction, does not make the teaching complete. The teaching is complete only when you are convinced, the student is convinced. And that is why Krishna felt that he could actually stop Bhagavad Gita teaching in the second chapter, after he has told everything in a nutshell. In the second chapter, as we saw, even verses 12 to 25, he covered Jnana Yajna or Jnana, self-knowledge. But until the 18th chapter, he went on teaching Arjuna because continuously Arjuna came up with lot of doubts. Lot of doubts, not only with reference to self-knowledge, but also all subsidiary activities. So many other disciplines which need to be followed by a seeker. As we saw all the yajnas, the 12 yajnas which Krishna talked about in this chapter itself, just before this sloka. Till 18th chapter, Arjuna said, Hey Krishna, Nashto moha smritir labdha tvat prasadat mayachyuta stitosmi gata sandeha karishye vachanam tava. Hey Krishna, my confusion is gone. I have clearly understood your teaching. Till such time, Krishna did not stop teaching, he continued to teach. And it is this teaching Guru who is referred to here by Bhagavan Krishna. Excuse me. So, first Krishna points out that Jnana Yajna cannot be practiced independently by a person. Other sadhanas he may practice independently. But Jnana Yajna requires external guidance, and this guidance is twofold. There are two requirements. As we saw, one is Shastram, the scriptures which deals with the self, because no other subject or books deal with the self, this subject matter. Only Shastra deals with it. All other books, all other knowledge deal with only the external world, because they are all objective sciences. But here I am not interested in anything objective. I am interested in seeing, knowing the very subject, myself. Who am I is the question. So like we saw in the mirror example, a gross mirror is capable of showing my face, my body, etc. So a gross mirror is required for seeing the gross personality. But here I am interested in knowing my inner nature. And therefore I require a special mirror. An extraordinary mirror is required. A very subtle mirror is required because my internal personality is very subtle. And that mirror is the Shastra, the scriptures. So it is what is called Shabda Pramanam, word mirror, verbal mirror, Shastra Dharpana it is. So the first thing that we require is scriptures. Now, what is the second thing? I cannot operate the Shastra Dharpana myself. I will not know how to use the mirror because if I don't use it properly, a person could say that I am looking at the mirror, but I cannot see my face. You can immediately guess what would have happened. He would have seen the backside of the mirror. So even when used properly, a mirror will help me see my face only, even when I use it in an appropriate manner. Similarly, Shastra will bless you with the knowledge only when you know how to operate the Shastra. If you do not know how to operate the Shastra, not only it may not give you knowledge, in fact, it may end up giving you wrong knowledge also. And therefore, we require another person, one who will help us to operate the Shastram properly. And that second factor is called Guru. So Guru and Shastram together will help me in gaining this knowledge. And therefore, he says to Arjuna, go to a Guru, go to a Jnani. Therefore, he says, Jnaninaha upadekshanti. The Jnanis who have understood this science, the Vedantic science, they will teach. Not only they have understood, they have also got the skill of communication. Because knowing one thing is one aspect, but communicating that is totally another skill. And a guru enjoys the status of a guru only when he has got both knowledge and communication skill. Suppose a person has got knowledge but no communication skill. Sometimes, we find such professors in the colleges. They may have knowledge. They may even be gold medalists, etc., but they do not know how to communicate. On the other hand, suppose there is another person who has communication skills, but there is no stuff inside. What will be the use? He will be bluffing his way through. So both these type of people are not useful for imparting knowledge. Kalidasa, in one of his wonderful works, which is called Malavikagni defines a guru very beautifully. He says, Slishtakriya kasyajit atma samstha shankranti rupasya vishesha yukta yasyobhyam sadhuna shikshitanam duripratishta paita tattvamevam. So in this shloka, Kalidasa emphasizes that simply being a scholar is not sufficient. Imparting the knowledge to others is more important. And the scholar who does this is the scholar of the highest order. He is like a fulcrum, a dhuri, over which a wheel rests and it is able to move easily. So, there are some people who have got a lot of knowledge, but the problem is they have no communication skill. Any teaching should involve transfer of knowledge from the teacher to the student. Otherwise, what it will be? It will be teaching mysticism. The guru may make big statements, but it will all be a mystery for the student. As long as the teacher, there are such gurus also. We have come across such gurus. Even today, there are such gurus. They are called mystics. They will make big statements, and most of the statements will be based upon Shastra only. They will claim that they have not studied Shastra. That's a different matter. If you have not studied something, how did you gain it? Is a question one can ask logically. How did you know this? But let it be. I mean, maybe they studied Shastra in their previous Janma. We don't know. But the point is, they will only make these statements. Audience will all clap. Oh, very good. Superb. Wonderful. And if you ask that student, what did he say? How did you understand? Can you explain it to me? The student will say, no, it was all very wonderful, very nice speaker. But what all he said, I cannot explain it to you because I didn't understand what he meant. That is not the purpose of Vedantic teaching. Therefore, what is communication skill? Whatever I say, you must not only be able to hear, appreciate, assimilate, understand, you must also be able to explain if somebody asks you. Therefore, when knowledge is there, communication is also there. Such a person alone should be considered as a guru. He should be given charge of gurutvam. And such a guru in the Upanishad is called Shrotriya Brahmanishta Guru. Brahmanishta means the one who has got knowledge of Brahman and he abides in that knowledge. Stotriya means the one who has got skill of communication, the method of communication. So that Stotriya Brahmanishta Guru alone, Krishna is paraphrasing as Jnaninaha Tattvadarshinaha. So Tattvadarshi means the one who has got Brahmanishta. That means he can boldly say, confidently say, convincingly say that you are Brahman. Only after knowing that he himself is Brahman. Now, if I am in doubt whether I am Brahman or not, how can I boldly say that you are Brahman and convince you? So what I will do, if I am not convinced I am Brahman, I will conduct Vedanta classes, discuss all other things. And when the teaching part comes to the statement, you are Brahman, either I will lower down my tone, I will utter it in a low voice. Why? Because I am not sure whether I am Brahman or not, or for that matter, you are Brahman or not. Therefore, the one for whom I am Brahman is the most intimate fact. For that person alone, the statement Tattvamasi, you are Brahman, can be a powerful word. It's like a doctor, who smokes, advises his patient not to smoke. No patient will take him seriously, isn't it? His advice will never be powerful advice because he himself is not following his advice. He will lack the moral authority to advise people not to smoke. But if the doctor is himself not a smoker, then he can boldly say these words, which will have life. Similarly, Tattvadarshi is one for whom Aham Brahmasmi is an intimate fact. Therefore, he can confidently say to the student, Tattvamasi. And not only is a Tattvadarshi, he is also a Jnani. He has the method of communication which is called Sampradaya, developed in the form of a Parampara. And the one who has got that method of Sampradaya of teaching, Shankaracharya calls him Sampradayavit. And Shankara also elsewhere warns that the one who does not have this traditional Sampradaya of communication, even if he is a Mahajnani, avoid that person. He says, Asampradayavit Murkhavat Upekshaniya. He might be a Jnani, but if he does not have the traditional teaching key, he does not have the right to be a guru. And therefore, Upekshaniya, avoid such people, discard such people. You can do namaskara to such Jnanis, get their blessings. You can even convert them into initiating gurus. You can treat them as inspiring gurus also, but never use them as teaching guru. And therefore, jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha upadekshanti. They will communicate jnanam to you. They will happily impart the knowledge to you. But you should make sure that you deserve that knowledge. You should become eligible for that knowledge. Because even for boiling milk, we ensure that the vessel is clean. Otherwise, the milk will get spoiled. In Tamil, a vessel is called patram. Therefore, you should become a patram for the knowledge. Patram means qualification is required. You should become eligible. So here Krishna emphasizes on two qualifications. What are they? Jignyasa and Vinaya. First qualification is that one should have intense desire for this knowledge. Tattva Bodha itself is one should be a mumukshu. Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti, one important requirement is one must be a mumukshu. Tivra Icha for moksha, for liberation. One should be convinced that this is the only remedy. Knowledge is the only remedy for the problem of samsara. This alone can remove my frustration in life, my pains in life. And I should clearly know, and that is called jignyasa, desire for knowledge. So, mumukshutvam should be followed by jignyasa, desire for knowledge. And the second thing I should have is humility. I should accept my ignorance. In fact, accepting one's ignorance is the toughest problem in life because the ego does not allow it. Whenever we talk of guru and learning from a guru and all, many people, they ask this question. Why should I go to someone whom I do not know and study with him? I know everything. I have read so many books. So an egoistic person can never gain any knowledge and therefore one should have Vinaya. How do you know the disciple has got Vinaya or not? Because humility is an invisible thing. It's a mental character rather. How can I know whether a person is humble or not? Therefore, the Shastra says, express your humility by doing namaskara to your guru. The physical prostration that we do in our tradition symbolizes our humility. And therefore, Krishna says, Tat Vidhi, may you know, may you learn systematically from a teaching guru. Your learning should include clarifying doubts at regular intervals. And this is how you should learn. But then, how do you start? Go to a Gurukulam, how do you start? Krishna emphasizes three aspects. Pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Pranipatena means by doing namaskara to the Guru. Pranipadaha. Pranipadaha means falling. Totally falling at the feet of the Guru. And this pranipadaha also indicates humility. So how do I know when there are so many people who have come to the Gurukulam or ashrama for learning? How do I know the Shishya is interested in the knowledge only and has not come for any other purpose? Because in our tradition, we go to the Jnanis for different purposes. If you go to any Shankaracharya, whether Kanchi Madam or or Sringeri Madam, or even Shankaracharyas in the north, there will be a huge queue, big queue. And you stand near Shankaracharya and see what they are asking. They will be asking for everything except Jnana. Someone will say, my son is not getting married. What should I do? He did not, or someone else will say he did not get admission in the US. He applied for so many universities. Or there may third person say, I've got this litigation. Please bless me to succeed in this litigation. There is yet one person may say, I have constructed a new house. Please suggest a good name for that house. Someone will say, I am not being cured of my stomachache, etc. Guru will think in his mind, I am not being cured of this headache of listening to all of you. I am not meant for that. So if you listen to them, even by mistake, they will not talk of Vedanta. So to such people, how can you say you are Brahman when that person is talking about his third daughter's marriage? All that person is looking for is moksha from his third daughter, not from samsara. So if such a guru start partaya pratibodhitam and sukshma shariram, sthula shariram, karana shariram, etc., will they listen? Therefore, how does the teacher know that the student is interested in knowledge? Krishna says, pariprashnena. You ask for knowledge. So Pranipada represents humility, Pariprashna represents Jignasa. Jignasa means desire for learning, thirst for learning. And then what is the next thing that you have to do? He says Sevaya. Seva in Sanskrit means service, service to the Guru. What is the purpose of service to the Guru? It serves twofold purpose. When a Shishya comes to the Guru and is involved in learning, because Vedanta learning is a very intense learning, intense curriculum. So the Shishya may not be able to do any other karma. And if he is lacking in Chitta Shuddhi and is unable to do any karma yoga sadhanas, There must be some means for purifying the mind. Therefore, service to the teacher will remove any impurity if it is still lingering. If he's already got enough chitta shuddhi, purity of the mind, no problem. But then nobody comes with 100% purity. So service to the Guru Seva will remove whatever impurities are lingering. So this is the first purpose, purification of the mind. And the second purpose is that for any communication, a rapport must be there. There must be an understanding between the Guru and Shishya. Guru must know the mentality of the disciple. What are his strong points? What are his weak points? So Guru must be able to do an assessment of the disciple. Even when we go for long treks, etc., to mountain peaks, etc., one needs to get acclimatized both physically and mentally for the long journey and the weather conditions. Similarly, when learning from a guru, both mental and intellectual acclimatization is required. And that is why, when you start attending the classes in the initial period, lot of things will not make any sense to you. It is only after a long time people will start understanding the teaching. It does not mean that all other classes were a waste. They have a beneficial effect. They prepare you mentally and intellectually. Meanwhile, the Guru has also observed the disciple and he adjusts his teaching suitably depending upon the level of the student. And he or she should give appropriate examples. So the Guru also gets acclimatized to the atmosphere of the student. All these things lead to some closeness between the Guru and the Shishya. Therefore, through service, there is a mutual understanding. In fact, when we joined the Gurukulam, initially, whenever Puja Swamiji or any other Acharya gave a talk, they would insist that we should take down notes. And after the class is over, after we go back to our room, we should write a summary of what was taught and submit that summary. Initial 2-3 months, we had to do it. And that was very useful for both us and also the Guru, the Acharya. Because what we have understood, we have put down and given it to him. And then the Acharya also will have assessed, okay, this student has understood so much. This student has not understood anything at all. So I should be careful now to calibrate my teaching in such a way all students are able to understand. So this 2 to 3 months period is what we call acclimatization period, knowing each other. So all these are aspects involved in proper teaching. And that is why these 3 advices Krishna gives, Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya. These are the 3 advices or 3 things Krishna says a Shishya should do while approaching a Jnani and Tattvadarshi. This is the way one should learn. So this sloka is a very important sloka to answer a question many students or many, I would call, seekers will have. I know what is to be learned, I have heard this thing, but how do I actually go and do it? What are the steps that I need to do? So here Krishna very briefly explains the steps and who is who is a fit guru to teach, and also how a student should approach the guru. That is the essence of this shloka. We will see more in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Dhanyavadaha, everybody.
Thank you very much, Guruji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ
Thank you very
ಗುರುಜಿ
much.
ಹರಿ ಓಂ
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಗುರುಜಿ. Hari Om Guruji. Thank you.
Thank you. Hari Om Guruji.
Hari Om.
Namaskaram, Guruji. Thank you very much.
Today was Akshaya Patram only.
What is Akshaya Patram?
Akshaya Patram. You gave that example of a vessel, Patram.
Yeah. Akshaya.
Patram needs to be filled with knowledge.
Yeah.
So that is what is the essence today, Akshaya Patram. Thank you very much, Guruji.
So all of you, wish you a very happy new year.
Thank you very much. Wish you the same. Pranams to you.
Wish you the same, Guruji.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ ನ್ಯೂ ಇಯರ್ ಗುರುಜಿ
Happy New Year. Happy New Year, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much,
Guruji.
Guruji.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. And then we are very fortunate to have the Shrotriya Brahmanishta Guru as our Guru. I don't know how many janmas punya is being fructified now to have you as Guru, and then to be just in the presence, to be the little patra that we were, and that to be receiving the knowledge from you. Very, very blessed, Guruji.
That Guru Krishna is there. When he is there, what we are all gurus.
Yeah.
We are
Happy
only,
New Year to you,
we are
Guruji.
only like loudspeakers, what Krishna
Nine,
is just
Guruji.
broadcasting.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
No,
Of
this
course,
is more.
I am a 2-in-1, Guru and Shishya at the same time. Because when teaching, I am a Guru, but when preparing for the classes, I am a Shishya. I am also learning in the process, what all things. Because the Bhagavad Gita slokas are such that every time you study the sloka, same sloka, it gives you different
Different, more meaning.
So it's beautiful, rather. It's very, learning becomes a joy, rather. So I am
Yes.
very, very particular, I will read here, Swamiji, this something else, and also if there are more angles to it, then we will, for my own understanding, rather. And that is how you get more and more convinced about this knowledge.
Yes, Guruji. I mean, I will tried self-study of Bhagavad Gita so many times earlier, either by reading the Bhagavad Gita or listening to just the recorded YouTube talks. But then it always stopped at a certain point. But
Yeah.
then to be actually attending the classes and to be learning from you, it is just on one shloka. I mean, the explanation is so beautiful about how a guru should be and how.
Swamiji and all, they have dealt with all these subjects in such a detail, it becomes easy for people like me to teach, rather. So
Thank you very much, Guruji. Happy New Year to you too and family.
Thank you, Lata.
Everyone too.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So if there are no questions, we can close the session. Like there are no questions. Okay. We will meet all of you in the new year next Sunday.
Yeah, wish you a wonderful year ahead.
Thank you very
God
much.
bless you. Thank you.
May Bhagavan bless you in this new year. Bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wish for yourself. Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Namaskaram. Thank you, Guruji.